Okay, friends, we do have a session today. There's some little confusion. Yeah, Ravi sir, you can go ahead, sir. Ravi sir, is my voice audible, sir? Sir, నా వాయిస్ మీకు వినపడలేదా?
వాయిస్ ఓకే రైట్ ఇప్పుడు వినపడుతుంది ఇందాక మ్యూట్లో ఉంది సో నువ్వు స్టార్ట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు సరే లైవ్ ఆన్ యూట్యూబ్ యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ యు ఆర్ ది హోస్ట్ ఒకవేళ నేను బయటికి వెళ్ళిపోయినా సంబడీ విల్ బికమ్ ది హోస్ట్ సో యూ కెన్ అగైన్ రీక్లెయిమ్ ది హోస్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ దెమ్ ఓకే
Sir, Ravi Kishore sir, can you please confirm, is my voice audible clearly? Yes. Okay, thank you so much. Sir, friends, I request you guys can share the link to the groups whoever joined in the session. I'm requesting the participants. The session is already live in the YouTube channel. Probably you can share the link also with your friends. Let me start the session without taking much time since we already crossed 9 minutes. Friends, till now we have covered 13 sessions. Let me look into the syllabus for today's session. Yeah, today I must cover the text functions. In fact, in the last session I have covered the financial functions that includes NPV, IRR, PV. Lot of calculations we have done. In fact, how to calculate the equated installment, preparing a monthly table, especially for the chartered accountant. It's very important because when we do evaluation, when we do the financial modeling, when we do any projections, especially when banks are asking for the ratios, these all functions are most important. Today, I'll cover this indirect function and offset function because it's not much time, though it is 13th week. Then I'll start looking into the text functions. So I think my voice is very clear and the screen is also properly visible. Without taking much time, let me go into the session of 14th. Let me just go with the 13th one and let me open these financial functions just to give you a quick recap what we have covered for 5 minutes because these bunch of functions are most important. Friends, NPV function, XNPV we have covered. NPV is basically giving you the net present value in case of consistent periods. As you all know, consistent periods means interest accrue at the end of first year, second year, third year. That means the interval is actually 1 year. XNPV is something which is inconsistent. IRR calculates the internal rate of return. XIRR calculates the same but for inconsistent periods. PV and FV is giving you the present value and the future value. So whatever the case it is, I need to have the rate of interest. I need to have a number of periods for which I want to calculate. I want to discount for the present value or future value. And these bunch of functions talk about the EMI. PMT is the function which calculates the equated installment. You can decide whether you want to calculate an annual equated installment or half yearly or quarterly or even monthly. So when it is a monthly equated installment, you have to make sure that the rate of interest you have to divide with 12. When it is a quarterly equated installment, you must divide with 4. So if another 3 parameters are there, the rate is the function. If you have other 3 parameters, then NPER is the function. Okay, if you want to calculate present value, remaining 3 are the parameters. when you calculate the EMI, there is a need sometimes, especially when we calculate rate of interest in case of individual income tax returns. As you all know, under section 24, we take interest on housing loan as a deduction. And under ATC, we take the principal. So when you want to know what is the principal under section ATC from X period to the Y period, it is a good practice to go into the cumulative principal and cumulative interest method. IPMT and PPMT is something for a specific year, nth year. You can find what is the interest and what is the principal portion. As you all know, EMI means amount is exactly same. But initial days, initial months, interest is more, principal is very nominal. When you go towards the maturity, your principal is very much higher, interest will go down and it will nullify zero. Okay. So this is what we have covered. We have taken very elaborate explanation, and almost like 1 hour we spent and we calculated financial year wise, what is the principal, what is the interest, and what is the balance outstanding, and so on. You can go through these files. In fact, I've shared these files into the WhatsApp groups of Vijayawada branch, which has created for the Excel workshop. Without taking much time, let me jump into the today's session. I need to cover the pending topics of indirect and offset function. Then I can go into the text functions. As you all know, the indirect and offset are part of the reference functions. You know, if I open the Excel file, let me open a blank Excel. So as you all know, this is the blank Excel file, right? And if you see here, okay, let me take this to downside. If you, one second. Yeah, if you see the formulas, there are so many tabs are there. Financial functions category is talking about only financial functions. Logical functions are talking about logical category, talking about logical functions. I already covered if function, and function, R function, Iferror function, if NA function, and so on. So text functions I had to cover. Today we are going to start these functions. Date and time functions I have covered very elaborate. In fact, lookup and reference functions. If you ask me, out of all the categories of the functions, the very important category is nothing but the lookup and reference functions, especially for the finance domain. If you look here, this category having index function I have already covered, match function I have already covered, Vlookup function I have already covered, Hlookup function I have already covered in the previous sessions, row function I have already covered, rows, columns. If I have not covered these 4 functions, I'll quickly give a recap. Don't worry. Transpose is the function, is part of your reference and lookup category of the functions. Along with that, there are 2 important functions called indirect function and offset function. Okay, the very important functions. I don't know whether I already covered row function, rows, columns. Can someone please confirm? Can I give a quick recap of these 4 functions, or can I go ahead? I actually forget whether in the previous session I have covered or not. I request someone from the session, maybe Kasturi or whoever attending regularly. You can let me know. Okay, no worries. I can give you a quick recap of these functions. Okay, so a row, rows, columns. The function itself is talking. It gives you the row number equal to row. How many arguments are there, friends? If you go back into the rules of the functions, every function has syntax. The syntax is having the arguments. I need to give all the arguments. Also, I need to know whether it's a mandatory argument or optional argument. If you look into the row function, could you please put in the chat box how many arguments are there? Could you please put in the chat box how many arguments are there and how many are mandatory? Wonderful. It is just only one argument. Is it the mandatory argument? No, it's not a mandatory. How do you know that? Because the argument is in the square bracket. So what Excel is saying, Mr. Saran, if you want to use the row function, even you need not to give me anything, that's fine. Okay. So if I don't give anything, what Excel understand? Excel understands in a way that wherever you are writing a formula, that row number I'll give you as an answer. That's the meaning of it. If I enter, my answer is 1 because I'm writing the formula in the first row. Then I copy this and paste below. Because this formula automatically coming into the second, I'll keep it as a second row. Let me drag this. Many people use for the series of numbers, they use 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So, but I don't do that. I'll use a simple row function. Then I can simply drag this down so that I'll get my answer. As simple as it. But Saran, if I want to get the series of the numbers from here, then what I need to do? Simple, equal to row minus row of this. Otherwise, you can simply put minus, I want to take 3. So now the answer is 4 because row is nothing but 4 because I'm writing the formula in the fourth row. Minus 3 is nothing but 1. When I copy and paste this, 5 minus 3, 6 minus 3, and so on, still you can get the series of values. Friends, as I told you, some of the functions in MS Excel look simple independently, but these functions works very great as the supporting functions, right? So column function, okay, row function. If I keep the argument, for example, I'll keep this. Could you please put in the chat box what may be the answer in this case? My answer is very simple. In the B4 cell, 14th is the row number. My answer is 40. That's all. Okay, so now let me go a little ahead of this. Column function, exactly same like a row function. I need to give the reference because reference is an optional, even I can ignore. I'm writing the formula in which column? Second column. So my answer is 2. Don't think that it's going to give you the answer as a B. No. Column function, row function, result u, the number of the column and the number of the row. So when I drag towards the downside, I got 2 because everything belongs to the same column. If I want to go towards right side, my answer is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 because it's a series, right? Simple functions. Don't worry, I'll tell you the practical case where we are going to use this when I go into the examples. There is one more function called rows. Select this. You can select a range. If you observe, rows function, one argument is there. That is a mandatory argument. That means you cannot skip this. If I close this, if I enter, my answer is 8 because I have selected 8 rows. When I put a column function, columns, again it's having an array. Now, if can anyone tell what is the answer? This range is having only one column. My answer is 1. Okay. Simple 4 functions. These 4 are part of your reference functions. Column function, rows function, columns function. That's all. Simple. Okay. And let me tell you, the best combination of the functions are nothing but, as I already told you, index and match is the best combination. Then Vlookup and match is the best combination. I think match is a beautiful function which can fit into any other function, which can be like a supporting character for any other function. Vlookup and match function. Of course, offset and match function. You can even have a best combination, indirect function and match function. You can even have a combination, indirect function and row function can be the best combination. You can even have offset function and county function. Okay, you'll get to know today. I'm going to give you one example how to use these combinations. In fact, I've already used, can we say row and column count, the location count? You're absolutely correct. When you give a reference, that reference location count, it's going to give you the answer. But when you don't give any argument, wherever you are writing the formula, that cell reference location is going to count. I think Arun, the question got answered. Okay, in fact, one more is Vlookup and match cat combination. Your voice is not audible. Can you? be elaborate? I'm sorry, your voice is not audible. Could you please put the question in the chat box? I think someone is speaking. Okay, I request everyone, please keep your Zoom in mute. Vijay Bora. Vijay Bora, could you please keep your... I request... Yeah, okay. I kept in mute. Friends, if you have any question, you can put in the chat box, because if you keep unmute, so that may give you a little disturbance. Okay, let me go into the other functions. Indirect function is there in Excel. What this function does. For example, just for example, concentrate. When I have 100, I have taken A1. Could you please put in the chat box what may be the answer? Don't think that even on 14th week I'm asking very simple questions, but there's a mean. 100 is the answer. Wonderful. Let me write the formula text so that you can understand what I'm doing. Equal to, in double quotation, A1. What's the answer? What is the answer if I put equal to in double quote A1? My answer is A1, because it's a text. So this is a text. Text always results the same text if you keep it in the double quotation. Wow. Equal to A join with 1. If I enter, what's my answer? What is my answer? My answer is again A1, because I'm trying to join two values together. One is a text, the other one is a number. But when you use the ampersand symbol, the result is always a text. So let me enter. My answer is this. Aman, no, it's not 100. It must be A1 only, because when you use the ampersand, your result is always a text. Excel doesn't know that when you are using an ampersand symbol, that it's a reference. Okay. Now what I do now, check it out. I hope you got the point. Any confusion in these three formulas? Here equal to A1, so Excel directly understand it has to pick up the value from A1. Here equal to in double quotation A1, that means I want to get this text as it is. Equal to in double quotation A and 1, so it's a text and number, so my answer is A1 again. Kasturi is asking me to write A and 1. I think Kasturi, you must know the name error. I've covered this on the second week or third week. As you already know, you cannot keep a text without having double quotation. You can only keep a text without having double quotation. That's either a cell name or the range name or the defined name. Now, Excel cannot understand this. So it is asking me a question, Mr. Saran, which name it is? Okay, it's a name error. Kasturi, I hope you got the point. So when I keep this in the double quote, then it understood that it's a proper text. Then it is going to join this text with, okay, 1. So my answer is A1. Could you please confirm, Kasturi, whether your question got answered? Yeah, great. Now, what is the relevance of the indirect function? Try to understand. Now, equal to, in double quotation, A1 I have written. As you all know, the answer is A1, because the same thing I have already written here. Now, this text, let me keep it into the indirect function. This text, let me keep into the indirect function. If I enter, could you please tell me what may be the answer I'm going to get? It's very simple. A1 is the text actually. Because I kept in the indirect function, Excel is saying, Sharon, when a text is looking like a reference, I'll convert into a reference and give you that value. My answer is A1 reference. A1 reference is nothing but 100. Any question, anyone, please let me know. Now, could you please tell me what may be the answer in this case? Indirect function, right? So reference text, I want to take A join with 1. If I enter, could you please tell me what may be the answer? Can anyone please tell what may be the answer? It must be again 100. Why? Because at the back end, in the reference, first Excel calculates this part. When Excel calculates this part, the answer is in double quotes A1. Indirect of text A1 is nothing but 100. My answer is still 100. Why are you confusing? For example, A is there, 1 is there. I'm writing a formula equal to indirect this joined with this. A1, could you please tell me what is the answer? Again, it's 100. Why? Earlier, I made a constant directly. Now I'm trying to take the reference of this. When I enter, my answer is 100. For example, for this cell, the name of the cell is, let me put, or else let me write here, Oh Baby is one of the Telugu film name. Okay. I want to use a function equal to this join with this. If I enter, it is obvious my answer is Oh Baby. Yes, right? But friends, let me go here. Okay, now what I do, I'll keep indirect on top of this. Can anyone please tell me what may be the answer the Excel provide? Could you please tell me what may be the answer Excel provide? No, because this is a Oh Baby text. Indirect of Oh Baby text. So Excel is trying to convert the Oh Baby into a proper reference. Is there any reference names called Oh Baby? No. So Excel give us the reference error stating that Mr. Saran, you kept Oh Baby inside. I'm really sorry. I did not find this name. So your reference is nothing. So it's a reference error. Now what I do, I'll go to this cell. I'll give a defined name for this cell. As you all know, giving a defined name. Let me give a pet name for this as Oh Baby. Once I enter, if I enter this cell is having a name called Oh Baby. So obviously, now this reference error will become 100. Check it out. Danya Sharad, Kasturi, Aman. Any question? Any question, anyone? Hope you are clear. Don't worry. Okay, I'll take it to the next level of understanding this. Let's say find it. Let's say A11, A12, A13, A14, A15, A13, right? A14. Could you please tell me what may be the answer in this case? Indirect of this. Don't confuse. Understand clearly on the paper. Answer the question. Arun, A13. Wonderful. Kasturi, A14. Don't confuse. Decode it. A15 is having what? A14 text. So indirect of A14 text is what? A14 reference. So A14 reference is having A13 text. So my answer is A13. How 500 will come? I surprise. Try to understand. Don't confuse. Don't confuse. When I keep indirect of A15, A15 is nothing but A14 text. So when I decode this at the back end, the answer is A14. When I Excel decodes this at the back end, A14 reference is an answer. What is there in the A14, A13? So that's the way I get my answer. Now what I do, I'll just copy this, I'll paste here. On top of indirect function, I'll keep one more indirect function. What's the answer? Can anyone tell? Arun, 12. Radha, here, 12. Kasturi, 12. A12. Aman, A12. I think everyone understood the concept, it seems. A15 is nothing but A14 text. Indirect of A14 is nothing but A14 reference. A14 reference is having A13 text. Indirect of A13 text, A13 reference. A13 reference is having A12 text. Simple. My answer is this. When I put one component indirect on top of this, what's the answer? A11, I think you're going with the sequence, but I hope you also understood the logic. Don't go with the sequence, but understand the logic. Now, when I keep the final one, Control C, Control V, when I put one more indirect, this is the way Excel interprets at the back end. First, it goes towards the extreme right side. First, it's going to give you the answer as A14 text. Indirect of A14 text is A14 reference. A14 reference is having A13 text. Indirect of A13 text is nothing but A12 reference. So A12 will become A11. Here, A11 reference is nothing but 500. That's the way it goes back. So wonderful. Finally, I want to write one more formula, the last formula. If I put indirect of this, tell me what is the answer? Anyone, please? Absolutely, you are correct, Radha. It's going to be the reference error because till here the answer is 500. Excel is trying to get the 500 reference, but in Excel there's no reference called 500, so my answer is going to be reference error. I hope you all understood the concept of indirect function. Independently, let us try to understand these functions. Then probably next 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to take you to the practical case study. So we'll take the same case study what I have taken for the Vlookup. So let me go to the next sheet, and this one, let me call it as an indirect. Let me just call it as row, column, and so on. Row, column, these type of functions. Let me call this as a ref functions. Ref functions. And let me call this sheet as offset function. As you all know, offset considered as the advanced feature in MS Excel. Many people, even you ask any of your friends or seniors who are good with Excel, they think that offset is one of the advanced feature. Sir, row B14. Okay, there's a question from Arun. Let me read the question. Row open bracket B14, where B14 has a value, does it work like an indirect function? No. Row function least bother about what value is there in the reference. Row function only bother about in which row and column it is. It will pick up a row number, give you the answer. Column function, it will pick up a column number, give you the answer. That's all. I hope you got the point, Arun. Yeah. Offset is the function. Okay. We call the offset function as a rolling range. Okay, you may confuse with these words. Okay, this word is, don't Google it because you'll not find it. I only found this name. You will get to know why I'm calling this as a rolling range or dynamic range you can call. What I do now, I just give equal to this. I've taken 15 rows, 15 columns, random between 0 to 5. Let me take this, copy, paste special values. You'll get to know where to use this. Now, what I do, I'll take the starting point, start cell. My start cell is A1. If I ask Excel how many rows to move and how many columns to move, let's say I want Excel to move 2 rows, 3 columns. Could you please tell me if I start from A1 cell, move 2 rows, move 2 columns, where I'll stand? Let me start here. Put in the chat box. 1, 2, 2 rows down. 1, 2, 3, 3 columns down. If I move 2 rows down, 3 columns towards the right side, my answer is gonna be D3, not C3. For example, if I keep it 4, 1, could you please put in the chat box what is the cell I'm referring? I'm referring a cell A1 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. It's gonna be the B5. Kasturi, you're absolutely right. Simple. No, it's not B2, it's not C3. Aman, it's a B5. Because from A1, 4 rows down, 1 column right side. That's all, right? So now, from this point, I would like to take the range. From this point, I want to tell to Excel, I want the height. I want to have an height of 2. I want to have a width of 4. Could you please tell me what is the range I am referring here? Finally, if you observe, because I want 2 rows height and 3 columns, 4 columns width, my final matrix is gonna be 2 by 4 matrix. So let me write a small formula, 2 by 4. Then let me join with matrix. This is the result. Do you all agree with me? Yes. Try to understand. If I start from here, if I move 4 rows down, 1 column right side, from that point, I want 2 by 4 matrix. That means 2 rows, 4 columns. Could you please tell me what is the matrix I'm referring here? Anyone, please? Anyone put in the chat box? Go to A1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. From here, 2 rows, 3, 4 columns. This is the one which I'm referring. So this is the range. Indirectly, I'm referring to the Excel by using the sequence. For example, if I keep 1, 1, it's gonna be the 1 by 1 matrix. So indirectly, it's nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. It is just saying B5 as an answer. Can we say width and height redefine the R1C1 reference? Please clarify. No, it is as an argument in the offset function. I'm just trying to tell you, in the offset function, reference is required from where you are starting, how many rows you are moving, it's required, how many columns it's moving, it's required, what is the height and what is the width is mandatory. If you ignore height and width, so it will by default take 1 cell. Here there is no relevance of R1C1. Everything you need to give a number as an answer, so that you can make your result more dynamic. Arun, I hope you got the point. Now, understand, now equal to offset. What is the reference from which I want to start? A1. How many rows are there? I want to move these many rows. How many columns? These many columns. From that point, what is the height? This. What is the width? This. Close bracket. If I enter, could you please tell me what is the answer? My answer gonna be B5 cell. It's nothing but 5. Simple, wonderful. For example, if I put 2, if I put 5, so I got my result as a 2 by 5 matrix here. Friends, this is a dynamic range. Okay, this concept is there in Office 365. However, in your case, you may get value error. Okay, but generally, whenever my result is more than one single cell, I use what function? Sum is the function. Don't confuse. Or average, or count, or max, or min, or large, or small. You can use any function because I want to get at the end of the day the result. So this 27 is nothing but from here, this total is nothing but 27. This what it is different. If anyone having any question, please let me know. Now I am looking for an answer from you. Now let me put 3, let me put 2, let me put 3, let me put 2. If I enter, could you please tell me what is the answer Excel gonna take? If I enter, what is the answer Excel gonna take? What is the answer Excel gonna give me here instead of 39? Simple. Go to A1, 3 cells down, 1, 2, 3, 2 rows right, sorry, 3 cells down, 2 rows right side, 1, 2, Then from this point, I want to take two row columns, sorry, two columns, because from here till here, so 3 rows. So 2 plus 2, 2 plus 5, 1 plus 3. So it is 2 plus 2 is 4. Then 7, 11, 11 plus 4 is nothing but 15. Try to understand. Okay. So at the end of the day, what is an advantage of using the offset function? There are instances in our assignments where the range I want to sum may not be standard. That may change dynamically based on a logic. If that is the case, you are going to use these type of things. The final one, if I put 2, 3, 4, 1, what's the answer? Put in the chat box. I request everyone, please keep in the chat box. Simple. A1, 2 rows down, 1, 2, 3 columns of right side, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 3 columns, then 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 plus 3, 6 plus 5. If I'm not wrong, the answer must be 11. If I'm not wrong, the answer must be 11. Is it not? Say it out. From A1, 2 rows down, 1, 2, 3 columns right side, 1, 2, 3. From here, it's 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 5, 8, 8 plus 3, 11. So my answer is going to be 11. This is theoretical. Okay, you are learning the function independently, but where to use these functions practically is the question. Have a look. I'm going to have, so let me save this file in the same folder. Now let me keep this, day number 14, as a reference functions. Okay, close this. Now, let me go back. Let me look into the functions where I have used Vlookup and HLookup. Yeah, these are all the lookup functions I have used. So why does it some function values in the 4 by 1 matrix not clear? Sorry, I closed the file. Let me open the file again. What is your question, my friend Arun? Why does it sum the values in the 4 by 1 matrix? It's very simple, because I want Excel to take that range. See, you can directly take the range of equal to sum. You can directly take the range of this. But this range, I want to make it dynamic. That is based on some other conditions. Maybe here I have given here as a constant, right? Maybe some other case, this may be dynamic. This depends based on some other formula. You'll get to know once I go slowly into the functions, but this depends on some other function. If that is the case, this is the formula we write. Okay, don't worry, you'll get to know. Arun, just give me some time. Friends, okay, let me see what are the functions you're taking. Wow. Okay, this is the example I have built. So I built this example using VLOOKUP. I built this example using VLOOKUP and match. I already done HLOOKUP and transpose. Yeah. I hope you all remembered the case study. Let me take the same file again for you all to make it more clear. So is it the offset function created by you? Oh my God. Rather, no, I'm not. This is part of MS Excel. Let me go to the formulas. Let me go to reference function. Let me go to the offset. There is a function called offset. It returns a reference to a range that is given number of rows and columns from a given reference. Don't worry, rather give me some time. You'll get to know the practical way of using these functions. Is that fine? I have not created this function. This is part of MS Excel. It's not my own. This is there since 2003. Okay, so very quickly, let me quickly have a recap as well as using the latest functions. What I do, I just open the file, copy paste special values. Now Excel allows us to create our own formula using lambda. I don't know what is lambda you're talking. You can create the functions using VBA possible. I don't know. Is it there in the Excel? I didn't update recently. Okay, wonderful. Because for the last 10 to 15 days, I didn't update because of tax season. I need to look. I'll browse more about this and I'll get back to you, Mr. Okay, great. So let me go into this and first let me explain in how many ways you can get the same result. Everyone please concentrate. I'm going to talk a very important function category. Okay, now what I do, let me go here. Now concentrate everyone. Equal to, first let me solve this using Vlookup function. I'm sure you all are experts in the Vlookup function now. It's very simple. I can directly use the Vlookup function. You know how? Simple. Equal to Vlookup, look for this value where within this table get me the second column value as an answer. I'm going a little faster because I already covered this function, but don't worry, let me explain about it again. Look for this value where within this range and get me the second column value as an answer. Actually, second column is a product category. I want third column because in this range, third column is having product subcategory. In fact, I am also looking for product subcategory. When I copy and paste this, I'll get my product subcategory. Product 10, 20 is not there. That's the reason you got any error. Now, when I take this copy, when I paste here, now you can take 2. When I enter, it's going to take the product category because out of the range I have taken, second column is the one is the B1. Okay, if I enter, this is the answer I got. If anyone having any question, please let me know. Right? Great. Now, friends, this is a very basic function. I've already covered how to use index and match. What I do now, I'll take the same thing. Let me copy paste here and let me remove this. Could you please quickly tell me, without looking into your previous files, how to use the index and match in this case? Anyone, please? Can I use index and match in this case? First of all, yes. In fact, I already covered how to use index and match without using Vlookup function. Simple. First of all, index is a function which can give you the intersection value. Intersection value is a result. So let me take the index. First of all, what array I need to consider? So my answer is there in this column. Concentrate. Comma. In this column, which row must be the answer? It must be 1, 2, 3, 4. Product 4. So my answer must be 4th row I want. Which column you want as an answer? First column, because only one column is there. Either you can put 1 or you can put 0 or even you can ignore because third argument is optional. If I enter, I get my answer. Wow, exactly product 4. The problem is when you copy and paste this below, because every time, let me phrase this, F4. If I copy and paste every time, I get the same answer. Why? Because Mr. Saran, you said every time you want the 4th row. No, because it's a product 4, I said it's a 4th row in this range. But if it is a product 1, it must be a 1st row. If it is a product 15, it must be a 15th row. If it is a product 7, it's a 7th row. So out of this, the dynamic part must be this. So instead of 4, I have used a match function. What it does, it looks for this value in this range. It's going to give us the position number with an exact match. So concentrate here. The row number is nothing but a match function in this case. So what Excel does, Excel look into this range for the product fourth position, and it's going to give you the answer. So product fourth position, you know what? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer is 4. So in this fourth row, first column is nothing but the one which I'm looking for when you copy and paste it. In this case, product 1 position value in this I'm going to get. If I look here, product 15th position value, it's a 15. So in this range, 15th row number, it's going to get it. In fact, this I've already covered. So just for a reference, I'm taking. So what is the difference between index, match, and VLOOKUP? Krishna, I already covered very elaborate in the previous session. VLOOKUP function looks having a limitation that it cannot look from the right side. However, index and match combination can even look the data from the left side, right side, or any of the way. But if you use the combination of index and match, you need not to understand the VLOOKUP function. Though VLOOKUP is mostly widely used function, but VLOOKUP has two limitations. One is it always looks from the left side. Second one is it always looks into the unique value. That means in case of duplicate, it always takes the first value, it not look into the second one. The first limitation will get overcome using index and match function. Now, friends, let me ask you a question here. Hesitate. Equal to index. Now I want to get the data from the product category. F4, comma, what is the row number? I don't know. So let me use the match function. Look for this value where within this column, and get me the exact match. Comma, which column you want? Since I only selected one column, I want the same column as an answer. Enter. Copy and paste. Simple. So I have solved with this as a method 1, with this as a method 2. Now I have already covered one more method because, friends, later if I add a column here, see, this result and this result has gone. Many a times while we handle with MS Excel, we do the biggest mistake that without knowing the intricacy, we try to insert the data, we try to delete the data. See, because you inserted a column here, it has changed the figures here. Check it out. Because I have written a range here, in that I was looking for the third column. So now because you inserted one column, this becomes the third column. And in this case, I have taken the second column. So my second column is a blank now. Blank is nothing but the 0. That's the reason you must be very careful while you handle with the data. How to overcome this problem, I've already covered earlier. Don't worry, I can use the combination of VLOOKUP function and VLOOKUP function and the match function. Okay, what I do now I'll have a drop down. As you all know how to keep the drop down. Go to the data, go to the data validation. Then you can go to list. I want the list of the values of these two. Let me click OK. You got the validation drop down. You can have anything, whatever you want. Now, let's say I don't want this. Now, VLOOKUP and match combination. This is. See, I'm trying to make my result more dynamic. So based on this selection, this result has to change automatically. So Excel decides whether to get subcategory or category based on what? Based on the third argument. If you keep here 1, it's going to give you the result of first column. When you give here 2, it's going to give you the result of second column. When you give 3, it's going to give you the result of third column. If 100 columns are there, it's going to be very difficult. You cannot use the VLOOKUP function. You cannot. If it is a product category, take 2. If not, take 3. If there are 10 items in the drop down, you cannot write 10 functions, right? So that is the challenge here. First, let me write the VLOOKUP function. Like any other case, VLOOKUP, look for this value where within this table F4, get me the second column value as an answer. So in this case, actually it's a product subcategory, third column. Now, instead of myself using tree, now this 3 is depending on this. If you select a subcategory 2, if you select a category 2, subcategory 3, so I'm going to use the match function. What I write, look for this value where within this range, get me the exact match. What it does, because VLOOKUP function third argument must give you a number. That's a column index number. That means, Mr. Saran, you please tell me out of the table I have selected which column you want. Simple. Now, if I write a product category 1, 2, it's going to be the second position. So if I keep 2 here, column index number, out of this range, I'm going to get the second column. If I put subcategory, so out of this range, subcategory position is 1, 2, 3. So this column index number is 3. Out of this table, third column value I'm going to get. Hey, why it is not available? Just give me 1 second. We'll have to look for this value M3, where within this, oops, it's not M3, it's gonna be this actually. Obviously, right? You will be looking for this value in this row. Even if I copy and paste below, I don't want this value to change. Let me put F4. Now what I do, enter, copy and paste. Wow. When I go here and make it product category, I got the category. When I go and make it subcategory, I got the subcategory. Beautiful combination, right? Match independently, if you see, you may surprise where we can use the match function. But match is a great supporting character. You can look into the supporting function. Now, friends, I can even solve the case study by using, what are the functions? Have a look. I can even solve using, I can use the indirect function and match function. Still, I'll get the answer. I'll give you 2 minutes time, 2 to 3 minutes. Could you please tell me what formula I may need to write here so that my indirect function and match combination give me the result? I request everyone, please spend some 5 minutes time, put in the chat box the function which I need to write to get the product subcategory for the products which I have taken here using the indirect and match combination. Okay. Anyone having any question, please let me know. I'll give you 2 to 3 minutes time, please, everyone. Put the formula in the chat box. Kasturi, could you please check it out, your formula again? If you are before Excel, I request you to please copy paste the formula and check whether it's properly giving you the answer. Okay, let me stop and give you the answer. Okay, only one person has tried and kept in the chat box, but don't worry. It is little difficult because we just learned the indirect function. Equal to, always go from bottom, so that you can slowly start building till the top. Product 4 is nothing but this I want to get. Do you all agree with me? Yes. But how can you get C5? So whatever the case it is, in this entire column, my answer must be from the C column. Do you all agree with me? Yes. So what I'll be doing now, I'll put C join with 5. Do you think this will give you the correct answer if I enter still office, telephones and communication? No. Why? Because this is gonna give you the text. To make it reference, I can just go into the indirect function. But when you copy and paste it, everywhere it's a C file, C file, C file, C file, C file. So what must be the dynamic out of this? C must be constant because anyway I want to get from the C column. But 5 must be the dynamic because I want to know the position number. So when I put here match, I want to look for this value where in this column. Earlier I taken from A2 and I have selected the data, but why I have selected the entire column here? Because either you can select from here till here, or even you can select the entire column, anything is fine. The advantage of this is it's going to look for product 4 from here. It's going to start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th position. So the answer I'm gonna get here is the 5. So let me close bracket, control plus enter. Wow, how simple this formula, even comparatively the Vlookup function, any other function I have written here, how simple the combination of this. Check it out. Anyone having any question of understanding this? No. Great. Friends, if I want to write the formula here, what is the only change I'm going to do? Can anyone put in the chat box? What is the only change I need to do in this formula? Yeah, I'll repeat it, don't worry. What is the only change I need to do here? Now I need to get my result not from the BC column, but B column. Copy paste. Friends, I'll repeat this combination again for you all, don't worry. See, I want to get equal to indirect of C joined with 5. Yes or no? The meaning of this is I want to get the C5 reference value here. Enter. But I want to make 5 as a dynamic. So for which what I'm going to do, I'll use the match function. I'll ask Excel to look for this value within this range. If it is available, then it's going to give you the position number. Now what Excel does, Excel give you the position number of product 4. It join that value number with the C. That becomes a text of C4 or C5. So indirect of text C5 is a C5 reference. My answer gonna be C5 reference is telephones and communication. When I copy this and paste below, my answer will be storage and organization, because now my match function give you the results too, because product ID is the first position, product 1 is the second position, because in fact I'm looking for a product 1. So if I enter C join with 2, C2 is a text. Indirect of C2 is C2 reference, so that C2 reference is appliances, sorry, storage and organization 1, 2. That's the way it works. The same formula I can take for product category, but control C, control V. Let me take instead of C, instead of B, instead of C, let me take B, because it's going to pick up B column. If I take A, the result will come from the A column. Simple. Okay. If anyone having any question understanding this, please let me know. This can be even done using the offset function and indirect function combination also. Why I'm telling the same result in different ways, so that when you are trying to solve the problem, when you look into your different methodologies that give you a lot of maturity level with respect to the subject, I can directly give you the answer, okay, VLOOKUP is the result. But why I'm going into different combinations, so that you can understand the same problem logically, how many ways we can think. Now, great. How to answer? Can anyone tell in this case? See, I want to get the result of this, as you all know. So I want to get C5. C5 is 1 by 1 matrix. I'm sure you all need, right? So if I want to use the offset function, I want to always start from this. Okay, comma. So I want to start from this. Have a look. So once I start from C1, it is asking how many rows you want to move down. Could you please tell me how many rows I want to move down? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me put 4. How many columns you want to move towards right side or left side? In this case, because I want to take from the C column only, I don't want to move any column. I want to be there in the same column. Okay. If I want to take height, in this case, what is the height you want to have? I want 1 row, 1 column. As I already told you, height and width are the optional argument. Even if you ignore, by default, it takes 1 and 1 at the back end and give you 1 reference. Could you please tell me what Excel answer in this case? Can anyone please tell what Excel answer in this case? Anyone please? Simple. Start from C1, move 4 rows down, 0 columns. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Telephones and communication is my answer. But when you copy and paste this towards end, same answer. Why? Because everywhere 4. So I don't want actually the 4. This 4 must be dynamic, right? This is based on this. Let me use the match function. Look for this value where, in this range, get me the position number with an exact match. What Excel does, Excel give you the position number 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. From here it moves down 1, 2, 3, 4. So my answer is a 4th position after this. In the same way, everywhere works. Now, if I would like to take here, could you please tell me what is the place I need to change to get the result of product category? Can anyone please confirm in the chat box? What is the only part which will change? Simple. Simple. I have taken C here, right? Instead of this, I have to take B. That means let me move this here. That's all. Wonderful. I hope you all are following me. Check how simple the functions are if you know the basics, if you have a strong logical understanding of the function. Okay, if you ask me, there are many ways you can still do this. I'm not going more elaborate. I'm giving you one small assignment for all of you. I'm giving you a small assignment. Let me go here. Let me go here. Pay special value, pay special values in transpose. Okay. I want you should solve using a method 1 HLOOKUP function, simple HLOOKUP. Second one HLOOKUP with match function combination. Third one index and match combination. Fourth one indirect and match combination. Fifth one offset and match combination. Sixth one Vlookup and transpose combination. I already covered this. In fact, out of which except these two, I've covered remaining all. But still, sir, can you please explain the logic behind offset function? Rather, if you ask me, logic is very simple. See, you need to understand when they introduce a function, that means there is an objective at the back end. The objective in the offset function is that Excel thought there may be instances where user may not directly select a value because of his own limitation, but based on some other logic, the reference will change. I hope you get my point. Based on some other logic, the range may change. If that is the case, it is giving user an option to build his own reference using the logics of rows, columns, width, height. Very simple. I'll take one more case study rather, probably you can understand much better. Okay, so this is an assignment for all of you. Please solve in this case using HLOOKUP and match, indirect and match, index and match, indirect and match, offset and match, VLOOKUP and transpose function. Okay, let me save this file in the today's folder as a lookup function alternative. Okay, Radha, I hope you agreed with my explanation, the objective behind the offset function. The object behind the offset function is simple. It is giving the user a capability to build the reference on his own based on some other logics. Okay, so let me close this. Let me take one small case study for you all. I request you to solve now in the class and give me the formula what you are expecting, what I am expecting. So let me put shift F11, okay, Now 11, there are 4 sheets are there. Let me have the sheet name as Jan. This is Feb. This is March. Let me add a couple of other sheets. So March, and this is April. This is May, and this is June. Okay. Now let me select all these sheets. As you all know how to select the sheet, either you can right click, select all the sheets, or else you can hold Control Shift and you can start selecting other sheets, page up, page down. Now I'm going to write a very small example here. I want to write a company here. I want to write M. So you can take any company, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay. Friends, please concentrate. I would like to just take the amount here. So let me take the amount here. Sorry. Equal to rank between 100 to 1000. Okay, so let me copy this. Let me select this. Now you can deselect. Friends, what happened? Every month there are different figures you have. Now I want to make this more dynamic. Let me delete these two, and this one also let me delete. Now here it's G, H, A, B, C, D, E. I just jumbled the values. Now let's say these 4 values are there. Is not there. G, H. Sorry. This is E, F, G. Okay. Now let this be as it is. In this case, G, F, E, D, C, D, A. In a reverse order I have taken. In this case, G, H, I also is there. Let's say 200, let's say 500. Do you think my data is exactly in the same position and consistent everywhere? No. I am asking you, what is the method you follow to get the references here? I want to have an analysis month-wise. Okay, so I want to do the analysis month-wise here. What I want, let's have the company. So company A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. I know that these are the companies we have. H, I. Okay. So what I want, concentrate everyone. What I'm asking here is that I want to select the month here. So I went into the data validation. Let me go to the list. Let me select Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June. Okay. So based on my selection of these months, I should get my figures here. Okay. Understand question carefully, everyone. Here there is a drop down. Here there are figures. Based on the drop down, if I select here, I should get the March month result. If I select April, I should get the April month result. If I select May, I should get the May month result. I'm asking you, what is the formula combination you're going to use to get this result? I'll give you 5 to 7 minutes time. If you are before Excel, please take the same type of example, then you can give. Otherwise, if you are not before Excel, don't worry, you can take pen and paper and start understanding the logic and give the formula. Okay, so let me explain you the assignment again. Every sheet is having 2 columns, company and amount. Company is not exactly in the same position. So the values in the company are different position. In fact, some items are available in only in one couple of months, some are not available. So this data is a little complex, but still I want to get the result of every company. If for example, if you go to the chart, here H is not there. That means I should get, in case of H, 0. Okay, so you may use a different function to get the result 0 if that particular company value is not there. I'll give you quickly 5 minutes. Please give me the answer in the chat box. Start thinking. Don't give up. Please start thinking. Yeah, Radha, you can try the function and you can put the answer in the chat box. I hope you all are working. Have you got any idea which combination you can use in this case? Have you got any idea? Okay, so let us start something like this. See, normally, when let's say this is January month. When it is January month, I can simply use Vlookup, look for this value, where I'll go to the January month. I'll look into these two columns. I'll get second column value as an answer. As you all know, when I copy and paste this below, I should get my correct answer. Wherever any is there, that means that's not available. So only four figures are here. Those four figures appear here. A, B, E, F. So if I go here, I got even A, B, E, F. But it looks odd getting not available error. So what I do, I use the Iferror function. So if I use the Iferror function, if this entire value is an error, then give me 0. Otherwise, okay, give me the same as a result. Check it out. What happened? Because these two and these three are the errors, because I have used if error logical function, if this is error, then give me 0, otherwise no, simple copy and paste. Let's, for example, but friends, when I make it fab, do you think it will change automatically? No. Why? Because here you have taken from the January month. Do you think I need to change the entire formula now? No, as I already told you, if you are getting a wrong answer, it doesn't mean the entire formula is wrong. Maybe a piece of the formula or a function is wrong. Maybe out of this entire formula, what is creating the problem to me? It is creating a problem, this word, Jan. I need to make this more dynamic. How to make it dynamic? Simple. I can select this one. Join with what? With exclamation AD. So when you are trying to use the join, this is a cell reference. It's having fab. So Excel going to get the fab here. What is this? Excel doesn't understand now the meaning of this. Now let me make it as a text. So let me keep it in the double quotation. As I already told you, your formula must have either a number or a text or a Boolean value or an expression. In this case, this independently is neither a function, nor a formula, nor a text, nor a number. So I want to make it as a text, so I kept in the double quotation. Don't confuse. Now, how it happens at the backend? Fab exclamation mark AB, because exclamation mark AB will join with the fab. But unfortunately, when I decode this at the back end, how Excel understands this, because when you use an ampersand symbol, your result is always a text. So what is the reason with exclamation mark? Because if exclamation mark is not there, have a look. This is by default. So when you are trying to refer to the other sheet, I already told you, Radha, when I was talking about the naming convention, you can refer the cell to the 4 areas. You can refer the cell into the same sheet, the same Excel workbook. If that is the case, simply you can give a cell name. You can give reference to a other sheet in the same Excel. If that is the case, sheet name, exclamation mark, then cell name, or range. You can refer to a cell to the external Excel workbook that can be opened. So when you refer to the opened Excel workbook, how the cell reference looks like, you need to give the workbook name in the square bracket, then sheet name, then exclamation mark, then cell name. When you give a reference to the closed Excel workbook in your computer, then you give the entire path, then you give the workbook name in the square bracket, then you give the worksheet name, then you give the exclamation mark, then you give the cell name. Radha, I hope you remember, I think I have covered this on the second day or third day. That means second week or third week. Okay, so if exclamation mark is there, for Excel, it can understand it has to get from the Jan and AB column. But here I don't want Jan. So can you briefly write this order for reference? I'll do that. I'll do that. Okay, so let me keep this because I don't want Jan, but whatever year I want to take. And why I need to take exclamation mark? Because This only give you Feb, but besides Feb, I need to have an exclamation mark, right? So that's the reason. Take this and take this. So if I enter, Excel gonna give me value error or 0. You know why? Because what Excel is expecting here, a table array. But because of the formula what you have written, Excel is giving me a text, some text. Just to understand what Excel is going to give you, let me put F9 to see what is there at the back end. This is there at the back end. At the back end, Feb exclamation mark. In fact, Feb exclamation mark AB is correct. But it is covered with a double quotation. You know why? Because I have used and symbol, I joined two items together. But here, I want to convert my text into the reference. What is the function which can help me to convert the text into the reference? There is a function today I have covered, indirect function. Now what happened, indirect function converts this result into a reference. In that reference, it will look for the A2 and give you the answer. Now, if I enter, I'll get the answer. Check it out. Hey, why only this is there? No problem. Because I want to make, because it has taken B1, right? Even if I go down, this 1 should not change. Let me give a dollar symbol here. Even if I go towards the right side, A should not change. As you already know, cell references are 4 types. Relative cell reference, where both row and column are relatively changed. Absolute cell reference, where both row and column are constant. You can give a dollar symbol before row and before column. Mixed cell reference means either row is constant or column is constant. In this case, the column is constant. In this case, the row is constant. So when I copy and paste, B will not change because I am copying and pasting to the same column. $1 also will not change because I kept it dollar, right? So let me copy paste. Wow. Now if I change this to March, wow. April, May, June, now Jan. Now I want to compare January with April. Is it possible? Simple. Copy and paste. You can compare. See, automatically it has taken now because the same column, left column, I kept a column as a constant. It has automatically picked up April because I made this as a relative and one as a dynamic. Sorry, one as a fixed. So when I enter and copy paste, it automatically takes the result. Now I want to compare 2 quarters, February with second month, or else month end with quarter end with this quarter. Or else I can have a comparison. Now let me copy this, and I want to have all the 6 months, Jan figures, Feb figures, March figures, April, May, and let me copy and paste here June. Then I can just copy this formula and I can select everywhere and I can paste it. I'll get my result. Check it out. Sir, why a match function? How it can be solved? Possible even using a match function. Rather, can I give that as an assignment for you guys? But whatever the case it is, you must need to use the indirect function because based on this, Excel change this. This must be the name of the sheet. So when you write this, it will pick up that particular sheet and give you the answer. If anyone having any question, please let me know. Rather, I hope you got the point. You can even do with the match and indirect also. Possible? That's possible, absolutely. But I feel this is the simplest way using Vlookup and indirect function. Now you got to know where we can use the indirect function. Yeah. Using a match function that I'll discuss right now. June, May, you can even come from the back also. See, at the end of the day, if you change the figure here, this changes automatically. Right? Any question? Anyone? Please let me know. Great. Now, friends, yeah, as requested by one participant, let me copy this and paste here. I want to take a different methodology than Vlookup. You know what methodology you can take here? Can I take maybe like equal to index and match. Of course, possible. I want to take array. Which array I want to take? Sir, also you were about to discuss regarding practical example of X match. Yes. Okay, after index and match, I'll take the X match. Okay, so array. So let me go to the January. Okay, let me take here January without having any confusion. For the time being, let me remove these all. Later I can expand this. Equal to, let's write the normal index function, index. Go to Jan, select this because I'm not sure how many rows are there in the other sheet. That's the reason I'm selecting the entire column, comma. I want to use the match function. What do you want to match? I want to match the, not here, I want to match this one. So anyway, because I want to take from the same sheet, sheet name is not required. I can directly pick up that. So whether you take this or not, both are one and the same, comma. Okay. In which array I need to look for? I need to go for Jan again in this. Now I want to get the exact match close by. So your match function over which will give you the row number, and this is an array in which it's going to look. Which column you want to consider? Since this is only one column, no question of taking the column number. Either you can take 1 or 0 or ignore. Anything is fine for the time being. Let me take it 1. 1. So friends, when I copy this and paste below, you will get your answers, of course, with not available because these values are not there. So to overcome this problem, what I need to do, I need to use the Iferror function. If this entire result is an error, then give me 0. Simple. Okay. Now, if I change this to fab, do you think that will change automatically? No. Why? Because here my reference is still Jan. If I want to make this from Jan to fab, what I can do? Simple. Select this, join with, join with in double quotation from here till here. Then we will keep this entirely into the indirect function. You know why? Because I want to make it dynamic. Again, here there is a Jan. You need to make it as a fab. So let me select this, join with. You can keep this in the double quotation. Earlier, Vlookup is the best method in this case, but since you asked me to use the match function, so I'm trying to take. So this I need to keep it in the indirect function. Why? I want to make this as a proper referred range. In this case, also I want to take it as a proper referred range. As you all know, when I copy and paste, it should not change the first reference, and here row reference should not change. Okay, so let me give the dollar. Enter, copy and paste. Now, when you take it March, April, May, June. So use Alt Enter for formula text. I'll do that. In this case, you can. Okay, so I have taken here. This is the index function. Okay, in which I have used the match indirect function because I want to look at the B column. Then for this row number, I've taken, okay, in this, there are 3 columns, 3 arguments, as you all know. First argument is what value you are looking for. Second argument is where you are looking for. Third argument is whether it's an exact match or not. Then once this is over, I need to give which column number it is. It's the first column because I have taken only one column. Let me close the index function. Let me close the Iferror function. Let me write the second argument of Iferror and let me close the Iferror function. Now when I go to the this, now let me select this. Go here. You can just copy this. I can simply paste somewhere for you to better understand. Okay, so let me do Control V. So this is the formula in this case. So this can be even done using indirect function also. Okay, but you can try different methods. You can even use offset function. You can use indirect and match function combination and so on. Any questions for you? Okay, sir, can we use offset function in this case? Of course. Same thing. Okay, now what I want to do, I'll take the same case, copy this, paste here. See, whatever you use, indirect function is must in this case. You want to use offset here. So let me take Jan as a reference. This equal to offset. So what is a reference? Let's go here. From here, I want to take a comma. Then how many rows you want to move? My rows are depending on the value which I'm looking for. So use the match function. What do you want to get? I want to look the value, this one. So you can simply take A2 because it is the same sheet. Where you want to look, I want to look in this column. If it is matching, okay, if it is matching, then you can take exact match. So what Excel does, Excel start from B1. Excel look for A2 value in this A column. If it is, for example, if it is looking A, could you please tell me what is the result of the match function? So in this column, A position is 2. Offset I've taken from here, right? From here, if I move two rows, 1, 2, I'll go directly here because I've selected from here. So what I'm going to do, I'll put -1, comma. How many columns you want to consider? I don't want to move any column because I want to be into the same column. So you can put 0. Height and width is not required because by default it takes 1, 1. So if I enter, I'll get my answer. Let me explain you what exactly it does. I want to start from B1 cell from the January sheet. 2 rows. This give you the result 2 because in the A column, my A position is 2. But I want to move from this cell, not starting this cell. So from this cell, I want to move 1 row. So that's the reason I kept -1 because I want to exclude this cell. I want to go for an exact match. So this is nothing but I don't want to move any column. So if I enter, I'll get my answer. But friends, as I said, now you'll get your answer. There's no doubt. Absolutely. To make it as error free, you can put Iferror. Then I can put this. You can put 0. That's all. Oops. 1 second. 1 second. So I can just keep Jan B1 A2 open. This must be, yeah, this is okay. 1 second, concentrate. Oh, E and F I got 0, is it? Just give me 1 second. I hope I'm trying to take from the January. So if, okay. So E position is 1 second. Now I would like to know my match function is giving me the result of F9 is the one. So, oops, okay, got it. This actually B1, it's the standard. I need to make it F4. You know why? Because in every case, it has to start from here only. How many rows it will move, that I will decide based on my match function. So that's the reason B1 should not change. Now let's copy and paste here. Now you can use Iferror function. I'm going to share this file with you. Obviously, for the first time when you see it, it will be a little difficult for you to understand. But I just want to tell you, with the combinations, you can build better things, especially in case of consolidations, in case of data sets, dashboards. Okay, now I want to make this dynamic. When I change your fab, this has to change fab automatically. So what I'm going to do, standard methodology. What I need to do, instead of Jan, take this, join with, I want to make this as a text now, pure text. So let me put the double quote. Again, I want to take this text as a reference. So let me put the indirect function, close it. Okay, so in this case also, I don't want Jan actually. So you can take this, then you can join with, and this I want to make it as a constant. So this give you the result as a text. To make it as a reference, let me use the indirect function. Friends, if you observe very carefully, in the first case study with the VLOOKUP, I have used only one indirect function. But in case of index and match or offset and match, in both the cases, I have used 2 times indirect function. That's the reason I said first one is the best one. But anyway, so I want this has to be constant. I want column has to be constant, because even if I copy paste towards right side, it should not change. I want row must be constant. Wow. So March, May, June. Let me take Jan. Wow. I can simply take this. You can take now Jan. You can take Feb. You can take March. You can take April. You can take May, and you can take June. Okay. In this case also, if you want, you can just copy and paste towards right side, so that automatically change. But this is a simple one, very simple one. It's not about writing a formula, as I already told you. It's about how great the formulas you write, how simple the formulas to understand. Okay. Yeah, Radha, I'm coming back. X match or X lookup, both are into the same category. Okay. If you look into the X match, equal to X match, the extra thing than the match function is it will look up the value. In fact, it look for the same value. Look up array where it's going to look the range. So if it is available, it's going to give you the position number. But the only important thing is, okay, let me just try to give you, let me see what options are there. Exact match, I'm sure you already know. Small match next to smaller item means in case of approximate match of VLOOKUP example, I have covered this. So when approximate match is there, I want to look for the downside value. In those cases, you can use it. The very important part here is search mode. Do you want to search from first to last or last to first? So what I do, to give you a little practical case study on this, I remember I have solved one case study using the XLOOKUP function and XMatch function. Let me go to the automation tools. No, let's go to TSP. 1 second, just give me 1 second. Yeah. Friends, just for the class, I'm trying to share the information. Okay, but anyway, this is not a practical information. It's just a very random data. See, let me give is my
So we can't.
Friendly, sorry, there is a small disconnection from. Yeah, I'm really sorry. There is a little internet issue. So good that I just came back. If any of the coming sessions wants, can you please let us know how to take a circular reference? So when I talk about the formal auditing, Arun, I can certainly talk about the circular reference. Don't worry. So I'm just trying to share you. Oh my God, host disabled participant screen sharing because I just logged out. Can someone from the Vijayawada branch? Yeah, anyone from the Vijayawada branch, please make me the host, right? Anyone, please? One second. Let me just see who is the host. Oh, my bad. I'm not in a position to share the screen. Who is there? Anyone from the Vijayawada branch in the class? Bohra? Okay. Bohra, can you please make me host if possible? Can you please make me host? Bohra. Bohra, is it possible for you to make me host?
Yes,
Looks like he's not there. Yeah, because my internet has a little issue. Radha, I think you are speaking something.
Sir, I saw that Bora has made you co-host. That's why I replied.
Yeah, I'm co-host. Yeah, I'm host now. Yeah. God, thank you so much. Thank you, Bohra. Thank you. Okay, let me share one practical case which I have used. How is this Vlookup formula indirect data is in different file and report? Okay, we'll look into the same. Friends, let me tell you this case study. Okay, I don't know whether this will be very much helpful to you or not, but for one of the client I have done. So this is little data which I can just share with the little figures. What this case study is, it is a NBFC where I got the loan issue data. So you can find for each account, there is a loan issue and there is a loan repayment data here. So as you all know, when there is a repayment on the reduced amount, right? So I built a small formula here. If you observe, check it out. So I have used here start date. Start date is very simple. I want to know for 254 loan account, 244th loan account. Rather, please have a look so that you can understand exactly what is the concept of looking from the downside. 244 loan account, I want to know the starting date BC. So both is another sheet which is hidden. Okay, let me make it visible, which this is having both loan and repayment both. So what I'm trying to see, I want to see for 244th account. So let's go here. I want to know for 244th account. Okay, so this is the date the loan has taken. So the one second, yeah, this is the date the loan has taken, and I have used a formula. Now I think this is not the correct formula. Let me take another account so that you can understand. Yeah, I think this is a perfect case study. 241. Let me go here. 241. This is a case where this person has taken the loan on this date and he paid the loan last installment on this date. Then the balance became zero. If I ask you a question, everyone please concentrate. If I ask you a question, what is the start date and what is the end date for this person? Okay, so that I can calculate my interest for how many days. Of course, we can see the cumulative balance method and so on a little later, but I'm just trying to tell you what is the use of the XLOOKUP function. Have you seen the XLOOKUP function or XMatch function? There is one small remark. So let's go here, XMatch. Let me give comma, comma, comma. Are you finding here? Do you want to start from first to last, or do you want to search from last to first? In this case, in this case, there are two repayments. So this is the loan date. This is the last repayment date. That means my interest will start from this date. My interest will end till this date. This is only two repayments are there. Let me take more. Yeah, check it out. In this case, there are three repayments. Okay, 2 times he has taken the loan and 2 times the repayment is there. Let me take, in this case, he has taken the loan here. He repaid till here. Okay, I'm sorry. I want just 191, right? Yeah, check it out. In this case, he has taken the loan of 25 lakhs and he repaid 5 installments. Till the last installment, I have to calculate the interest. So what I have done here, I want to take the start date, then I want to take the end date. I'm asking you a question. Please bear with me for another 2 minutes. I'm asking you the question, how can you get the last date for this particular loan account? The only method is thanks to Xlookup function and Xmatch function, where you have a concept of look from the bottom. So what I asked for, check F1 in this B column B, that means in this column, okay, and get the result. So if you look here, the third argument, this is the lookup array. That means F1 will be looking into this column. If it is available, this is the return array. That means this column value is going to pick up. So return array is F column. Do you know what is the F column? So let's go here. This is the F column. I want the cumulative sum. Okay. So if it is available, okay, then I don't want here because I have not taken anything. If not found, I have not taken anything. Now I have taken here the search mode. If I remove this, I don't want to start search from first to last, because if I take one, it will give me the result. You know what? It's going to give me the result of the same first to last. So 23/10/2019 will come. So let me write the formula for you again here, just for the understanding, equal to Xlookup. Rather, I'm taking Xlookup example because already in a practical case study I have used this. In the same way, you can use the Xmatch, because the last search mode is the only change in the match and Xmatch. Lookup value is this. I want to look where you want to look. I want to look into this column. Okay. And result is there in this column, right? Comma. If it is not there, I want to get the result as, obviously it is always available. If it is not there, you can ignore that, comma. Do you want to look into the exact match? Of course, I want to look into the exact match, comma. Do you want to start from first to last? That means Excel start from the top. If I take 1 year, do you know what is my answer? My answer gonna be 11/7/2018. Let me convert this into the proper date format. Oops, 1 second. Yeah, I've taken which date here? It's 241, right? No, I've taken here both. It is 191. So let me change here as a 191. It's not 241, 191 account. Let's check it out. It must be 11/7, right? In this case, it is 11/7, right? So, but this gives me the start date. But I don't want start date, but I want end date, because I want to know when he repaid everything back. So if that is the case, what I use instead of 1, there is a one more option, search from last to first. Now what Excel does, it start looking from the bottom and it will give you wherever this value is available first from bottom. So my answer is gonna be 28, because Xlookup I can use this. Usually in Xmatch I can use the same feature.
Kindly start.
Radha, is my audio having an issue?
So sorry to disturb, sir. Just in between it was.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Now I change it.
again.
One second. Radha, 1 second. Now I changed my network. It must be fine now. Yeah, you can ask the question, Radha, now. Radha.
No, sir. Actually, Yeah. So from the end of second August, you were explaining me.
Sorry, your voice is a little breaking.
Yeah. From explaining that from X lookup, sir, audible.
Break is there at your voice.
Oh, sir, I will type on the chat.
It's okay. Rather, we can look into the same, but I'm just trying to give you. If, for example, I want to know the position of this from bottom, the same thing can be used in the X match. I can take the X match. Then what I want to have a value. I want to look this value. 1 minute, 1 minute. Yeah. So lookup value is this, comma. Where is an array? My array is simple. I want to look into this, comma. I want to go for exact match. So let me keep 0. So I want to keep it as a 0, comma. Do you want to start from the first to last or last to first? So if you take from first to last, it's going to give you the position of this. You know, the position of this is 20. But when you take search from last to first, it's going to give you the position of this. So if I take 1, I'm sure my answer is going to be 20. Check it out. When I put this as a -1, my answer is going to be 25th. Check it out. This is the one. So based on a situation, you can use this method. So I think I can. Yes, you explain from the end date. Rather, you got the point. Okay. So see, when there is a function, there is a new functionality. It doesn't mean everywhere we can use it, but based on a situation, we can use. I tell you, the one instance which I found, in fact, I practically used in one of the case study is this, where practically you can tell to the Excel to start from the bottom because there is a need, right? So in other instances, maybe in your day-to-day work, if you find any case study, you can probably share with me. So this situation is helpful in NPA accounts. Yes, maybe. Uh, Correct. We can go ahead more examples in the coming sessions. Anyway, next week I'm going to talk on the text functions. Once the text functions are over, most of the functions are over. So I'll go slowly towards the array functions. Don't worry. So slowly, because we have another almost like 10 sessions, 10 to 11 sessions, we'll cover more elaborate case studies. If you have any case study with you, you can share with me. Probably I can try to combine a couple of concepts with that case study and I can speak in the class. That's all from my end for today's session. If you have any question, you can how to share the case study. You can ping me to my email ID or WhatsApp number. You can take my WhatsApp number from the group, or else you can note down. It's gonna be 702234567 8. So you can just ping me in the WhatsApp. You can share the case study. I'll try to solve it and I'll put in the class with your permission, of course. Don't worry. As much as possible, I'll try to clone the data. I'll just mask the entire data. Rather, I think you still did not understand. X match and match is only one difference. In case of match function, it always starts from the top. In case of X match function, it's having an option to start from the bottom. Simple. Yeah, that's the only difference. No other difference. In fact, VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, the difference is there are many differences, but match and X match only one difference. That's all, guys. Thank you so much. See you all in the next week. Don't miss the next week session. I'm going to talk very much elaborate the text functions. Bye-bye.